Hello, viewers of Jonathan George Villaria's Work Emporium. I'm Jonathan George Villaria, and I am excited to share with you how we can expand our knowledge of the world through the English language. Our videos cover a range of topics such as literature, history, science, and more to provide you with a well-rounded learning experience. Regardless of whether you are a beginner or an experienced learner, our expertly curated videos offer captivating and enlightening content to help you enhance your language proficiency. Michael Sandel, a graduate of the University of Oxford with a PhD, has been teaching political philosophy at Harvard University for over 3 decades and is renowned for his lecture on ethics and justice. He is the author of numerous significant works, including Justice: What's the Right Thing to Do. His book doesn't offer absolute answers, but rather challenges readers to contemplate and thoroughly investigate complex ethical issues. Michael Sandel's Justice: What's the Right Thing to Do truly brings clarity and insight into the realms of ethics and justice within society, presenting contentious scenarios from various philosophical perspectives. The author refrains from providing definitive answers, instead urging readers to ponder and seek understanding. This book demands seriousness and an investment of time and effort when reading. However, in addressing intricate questions about ethics and justice, readers may discover fresh perspectives. Samuel presents ethical dilemmas as he prompts readers to reflect on moral decisions in challenging and conflicting situations. Justice is an exceedingly intricate subject within philosophy. This complexity arises because our understanding of justice evolves over time and varies among individuals. Issues such as sacrificing one life to save many, taxing the wealthy to aid the poor, military conscription, wealth distribution, same-sex marriage, organ transplantation, euthanasia, surrogacy, or abortion all spark debates about justice. This question likely has no absolute answer, as each individual possesses their viewpoint based on values, personal experiences, and biases. The author doesn't impose his own perspective, but encourages critical thinking and discussions surrounding ethics and justice. This book facilitates the juxtaposition and comparison of viewpoints from philosophers like Aristotle, Jeremy Bentham, Immanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill, Robert Nozick, and John Rawls, allowing readers to gain a deeper understanding of philosophical theories and how they apply to real-life situations. This aids readers in comprehending the evolution of philosophy and ethical perspectives over time. Exploring diverse theories can broaden one's understanding of justice and adjust their viewpoints by posing pertinent questions, comparing various responses, and evaluating them based on different standards established by various philosophical schools. We can construct our own concept of justice. According to Jeremy Bentham's philosophy of utilitarianism, actions are evaluated based on how they impact the happiness or benefit of many people. For instance, murder is considered unethical because it causes suffering for many people, while assassinating a dictator could be viewed as ethical if it saves many others from misery. Legal interventions into a free market are seen as violations of individual freedom and injustice. Consequently, proponents of individual freedom often oppose taxes, contributions to social security, and social insurance, regarding them as restrictions or encroachments on personal freedom. However, they also support progressive causes such as same-sex marriage, abortion rights, and the separation of church and state, all of which come with individual freedoms. Legal interference in the free market, such as in the personal financial management, is considered a form of limiting individual freedom and poses ethical and legal challenges. The legal intervention into the free market is often seen as an infringement on personal freedom and injustice. However, advocates of individual freedom also support progressive causes like same-sex marriage, surrogacy, euthanasia, um, or organ transplantation. If I'm not causing harm to others, no one has the right to interfere with my freedom to believe in God, love whom, or conduct business as I see fit. Society is truly just when individuals are ensured complete freedom to live and act according to their beliefs. Immanuel Kant developed a moral theory based on the principle that the motive behind an action determines its moral worth. According to Kant, an action is morally righteous only when it is performed for the right reason. Kant opposed the philosophy of utilitarianism because it relies on human calculation in utilitarianism. What matters is not whether an action is done with the right motive, but rather the right outcome of the action. Kant emphasized that we must always strive to do the best we can for the right reasons, regardless of the limited ability to distinguish right from wrong, playing a minor role. John Rawls proposed a method of determining social justice by using the concept of the original position and the veil of ignorance. This idea helps establish the social principles that everyone can accept in a completely hypothetical state of absolute equality without any discrimination based on class, gender, race, political beliefs, and religion. Rawls dismissed utilitarianism because it could lead to oppression when decisions are made based on the majority's interests. Instead, Rawls suggests that we prioritize basic freedoms and equality in income and opportunities. Aristotle believed that justice cannot be defined absolutely and there are no universally applicable principles that determine what is fair and unfair. Instead, he encouraged the approach to justice by examining the purpose and intention behind a specific action or moral issue. The author presented a perspective that the political divide often originates not only from the conflict between the left and right wings, but also from differences in how each person perceives the role of individual rights and personal joys in a democratic society. This fostered debate and challenges regarding values and social goals, prompting readers to reflect on their roles in building a just and ethical society. The book presents three different approaches to justice. First, justice is understood as maximizing utility or happiness for the collective, meaning ethical decisions are based on the greatest benefit for the group. Second, justice relates to individual freedom and respecting each person's autonomy. Third, the author explores how individual freedom is limited when it interferes with the freedom of others, raising questions about the law and government intervention. Questions about fairness and ethics often encounter opposing viewpoints and beliefs in diverse society. This reflects the complexity of justice and the difficulty in finding a single, universal answer to moral issues. Education creates opportunities for discussion of moral issues and can help reduce prejudice and fear. Educated and non-biased debates can help individuals understand different perspectives and find ways to compromise or achieve common understanding. Stanza doesn't impose ideas and determine right from wrong on the reader, but encourages thinking and awareness of the complexity of moral situations in life. Sandor encourages readers to explore and make ethical decisions based on reflection and consideration. This work can help readers gain a deeper understanding of philosophy and how to apply it to everyday life while exploring non-biased and reflective aspects of ethics. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Your questions, comments, and feedback are always welcome and appreciated. So please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting and enlightening content by hitting the notification bell. You'll be sure to never miss any very exciting and thought-provoking episodes. Don't forget to share our channel with your friends and family who may also find our content beneficial. We are committed to providing you with high quality, well researched, and engaging content that will help you improve your English language skills and expand your knowledge. And I look forward to sharing more insightful and inspiring things with you in the near future.